It's Todd Horowitz, host of the Bubba Trading Show, on which I've been a proud guest from time to time, and Jared Levy, ProfitableTrading.com senior strategist. Todd, it really is extraordinary. I mean, I've been very supportive of efforts to lower tax rates. I think that's always a good thing when you give less money to the government. However, this is crazy. I've been getting messages from my own tax accountant saying he doesn't know how the bill's going to change. We're only a couple of days away from this new tax law. Nobody seems to know how it works.
Hi, David. And hi, Leah. You know, it's funny because I got a call from my accountant. He said, pay your taxes. And I paid him. And now I'm wondering if I did the right thing and I'm going to be stuck. We need to get some clarity. But one of the problems is that they don't really have that much clarity on the bill either. And I think that's one of the bigger issues that nobody's talking about. And I think we really settled for less. It's great to have the tax cuts, but I think we could have done better. And I think we could have had more clarity coming into the new year so that everybody knows exactly what they need to do before trying to figure out what's going to happen next.
Well, Jared, it is a joke that this was first advertised as simplification of the tax code because it is anything but. I was looking, we're going to be having a small business rep coming up a little later, but if you have your own business, there are about 20 different possibilities of where you would fit in with a tax code, how you deduct a certain proportion of your own income as opposed to the business. I mean, it is a mess.
It gets complicated, and you know, you got to learn, what is it, like 600 and plus pages of code, right? All these tax professionals, which, by the way, I'm getting these same calls, my friends, literally on the way to the studio today. Hey, should I pay my taxes now? I'm here at the office. I said, talk to someone professional. But yes, you're right, David. All of these nuances are not just going to create a delay, but it's also going to cost money. It's going to cost money to the consumer. They may have to pay more. You know, people are going to be reluctant in terms of getting it back to investing. People are going to be reluctant to put more money maybe into the markets until they figure out what are the real ramifications of these changes in 2018. So that could be a little hiccup going into the first month of the trading.
On the other hand, Todd, we're talking on a day when once again we had a new record high. It was kind of floating along there until the end of the day, and people said, what the heck? If taxes are going to be lower, we're going to get in no matter how complex it is.
You know, David, the markets are going to go up as long as they go up, and you know, we've been pigeonholed.
Wait a minute, can I quote you on that?
Class.
The markets are going to go up as long as they go up.
It's a great quote. I mean, listen, we've been pigeonholed. We've been pigeonholed into one asset class, right? Because of the Fed, we've been pigeonholed only into the equity markets. There is no other investment that you can make unless you want to play with Bitcoin, and then you're gambling a little bit. So right now, we can only trade into equities. So every loose dollar that somebody has is going to go into the equity market, and that's really why the markets will continue up. Now, again, I will predict that we will have at least a 3% move to the downside in 2018. Whether or not we correct or not, that's still up in the air because of the money, the monetary system.
Guys, thanks a lot. We're going to have the panel back with us in just a moment. Leah.
Well, meantime, Apple is facing a class action lawsuit for allegedly slowing down older iPhones, and there are problems with the iPhone X's Face ID. So despite that, CEO Tim Cook and top executives are taking home some big raises. Hillary Vaughn has more from our LA bureau. Hillary?
Hey, Leah. Well, Tim Cook ending 2017 with an influx of cash after Apple gave him a massive pay raise over $100 million in total, including a 74% bigger bonus than he got last year. The company also revealed in their regulatory filings the CEO gets to travel by private jet on company dime, even for personal vacation. He also gets his own security detail. But the new year is bringing some new problems for the CEO. Cook is facing a depressed demand for Apple's most expensive new iPhone in 2018. Tech analysts lowering their expectations for first quarter sales, and Apple reportedly slashed their output for this period by 30 million units. Tech analysts at Consumer Intelligence Research Partners found that Apple's trio of new devices had their worst debut of new phones in the past 4 years. In 2014, Apple's new models ate up 91% of new iPhone sales, with only 9% of consumers opting to buy older models. But this year, Apple's 8, 8 Plus, and 10th anniversary device only dominated 69% of sales, with the rest choosing older devices. As Apple faces fading hype for their new phones, they're also facing off with angry iPhone users in court. After the tech giant admits they've strangled battery life on older devices, several class action lawsuits have popped up in California, New York, and Illinois. The suits say Apple scammed users into thinking they needed to upgrade to a new phone, instead of just replacing the battery. But Apple is defending the move, saying limiting battery life actually helps old phones live longer, which they say helps out users in the long run. Leah?
All right, Hillary Vaughn, thank you. Well, let's bring back the panel to react. Todd Horowitz and Jared Levy. So, Todd, I want to start with you. Tim Cook basically got a 47% raise this year. You know, $3 million salary, $9 million bonuses. Apple stock, $102 million basically for 2017. Is this fair?
It's fair whatever you can get. One thing I know about living in this country and free markets, if they are free, is you get what you can get. And they gave it to him. Obviously, the sales represented what they wanted to give him. Even with the problems with the battery in the last quarter here, they still gave him the money, and I think he's entitled to every penny of it.
Well, what do you think, Todd?
Jared, I think the point is here, the stock's up 49% for the year, right? And when you sort of look back, you know, investors are reactionary. Right now, they're happy as, I mean, they're screaming, you know, it doesn't, at the point we're at right now, everything is okay. I think if the stock starts to falter, if these numbers truly come in weaker, if this stock backs back off to 140, 130, somewhere in that realm, then the pressure is going to be on for Tim Cook. But with the stock up 49%, he deserves, in their eyes, a 47% raise. So right now, as much as I'm not happy with it, it's, you know, it's justified.
All right, so I switched your names around there by accident. I apologize for that. But going, back to Todd, I want to ask, you know, what is Tim Cook going to need to do to keep Apple going in the next year? You know, we're talking about these lawsuits, we're talking about the issue of the slowing iPhones and just the hype issue.
Well, I think they have a problem. I think they're actually falling into the problem that Microsoft fell into years ago, and they're becoming too stagnant. I mean, really, what have they actually innovated or developed over the last 10 years since the iPhone? And I think they need to get more into this innovation. I think they missed the ball on the Apple TV. I think they missed the ball on the new the device from Amazon with the talking device. I forget what it's called, but whatever. I mean, they've missed any new innovations. I think that's a bigger problem for them, and that may be the thing that causes them to have to reinvent themselves a little bit. And until they do that, they could have some problems in the forward.
All right, well, we'll see what's happening in 2018. Thank you, Todd and Jared.